Mr. President, I know that Senator Reid has assured people what's in the bill, but he hadn't read what's in this amendment. Neither has any senator in this body, I suggest. Only a few staffers have. They made tremendous errors already in the previous amendment that they offered. And just to say there's been nothing but minor changes is not something I think senators ought to rely on. And my good friend, Senator Reid, has always been courteous to me, but we disagree on this issue. He said he wants to make people happy. How about making the American people happy? They oppose this bill overwhelmingly, and yet the leadership here continues to use every parliamentary tactic that we've ever used and new tactics never before been used to limit debate and move this bill to final passage. I object to that. I think about our former colleague, Senator Paul Wellstone, Senator Helms. Wonder how they would feel if it was said, well, this is unprecedented, we're going to eliminate debate. But I've talked to the leader on the other side, and we two leaders have just decided, since it's bipartisan, we'll do that. To make no mistake about what's being done here, Mr. President, there is no dispute whatsoever. Amendments will not be allowed to be voted on that the majority leader does not personally sign off on. The power to control this process is in the majority leader's hands. And he has met with a group of people who are interested in this legislation, and they have agreed to control this process. It's never been done like this before in the history of the Senate to eliminate these amendments. It's not right. My colleagues, I urge you to understand this is an unprecedented step. It's a step by which the leadership is creating a new tactic that will eliminate the power, the ability of individual senators to offer amendment and engage in debate. This is a body of 100. Yes, we have leaders. They have significant authority, and we understand that. But that is a limited power, and we've always celebrated the great potential of this body that any one senator can raise an objection. Any one senator can have an amendment voted on. I tried to offer amendments when the bill was up before. Time and time again, they were objected. Other senators objected. Why? Because they were able to object to making those amendments pending, and then when cloture is filed, they're not able to be voted on because they've never been made pending, although they were filed. This is not a small matter. I don't think our colleagues understand. I see Senator Specter here. He will stand by himself on an issue he believes in. There are other senators here who share those same independent views. We do not need to go down this path. And I think it's a big, big mistake. And I would say this, the majority leader says, well, that people want one thing. They want border security. Well, what do we know about this legislation? It does not give us border security. The Congressional Budget Office, our own analysis team, has looked at this bill and concluded in the next 20 years we'll have another 8.7 million people in our country illegally. It will only reduce illegal immigration by 13%. That's what our own staff has told us, under the majority leader's control. Okay. So I submit it will not do.
2 minutes remain for the senator from South Carolina.
2 minutes remaining time to Senator Sessions.
Senator from Alabama.
Well, I think that's the fundamental thing. I'm just flabbergasted and amazed that our leaders keep telling us this bill is essential to have security. And if you've got to have this amnesty, you've got to give up and we'll have amnesty. And in exchange for that, you guys, we'll have a legal system that will work in the future. But it won't work. That's what they said in 1986, friends and colleagues. Senator Grassley noted on the floor, people in this body don't even say there won't be another amnesty anymore like they did in 1986 because they know this bill will not create a legal system. There'll be 8.7 million more people in our country illegally, and the same group will be here asking for amnesty again. It's a failed system. Let me just add one thing. One thing I've learned in this debate. We can make this immigration system lawful, and we can make it work. We ought not to be having a 13% reduction in illegality, as the Congressional Budget Office says. We can get to 95% reduction of illegality. We can create a system of immigration that serves our national interest. It's within our power to do so. This bill will not do it. We must not go forward with it because it won't work. Mr. President, I yield the floor and reserve the balance of the time.
The Majority Leader.